We got the live to work. This is the very first live we're doing on YouTube. If this is the first video that you're seeing of us, my name's Chrissy. We are the Galaxy Gardens channel. We have a small scale urban homestead in our backyard. We've tried to foodscape as much of our property as possible. And today I need to put some herbs away. So I have a pile of items behind me that I need to sit down and do things with. I have Boo here. She's eating her dinner, so she's gonna hang out with us. I don't even know what to start with. I guess the sumac. So we have some sumac that we harvested. This is really, God, maybe an eighth of what we harvested last year. But I did find one big cluster of staghorn sumac earlier this season that's been drying. It takes forever to dry these berries. But now I need to break these up. Right, Boo. But while I do that, I figure I'd sit on the live here. I'm gonna go get a jar for this really quick. And I'm just gonna have a little chat about our fall garden. So give me 1 second. Use the Stroop waffle container, which is pretty good. They're pretty good cookies. So we're just gonna put everything in here. Now, staghorn sumac, usually if you see these, in New England, they grow everywhere. Usually you'll find them on like the side of the road in clusters. But these berries range from this size to like much larger. So unfortunately, the spot we have to collect our sumac from, that's not terribly fluted, I guess is the word I'm looking for, unfortunately got cut down this year during the winter. So it's trying to grow back, but the plants are just like a little bit too small. That's why we're having small berries, and we just don't have that much. Fortunately, we got a ton last year, so we have a little left over, but this fresh stuff will be nice. I really like staghorn sumac. The actual plant is, you're not going to confuse it with poison sumac. Poison sumac will grow low, usually in like marshy areas, and it will have these small white berries on them. And if you touch it, you're gonna have a reaction, and it's very itchy. I'm super allergic to it, and it does not look nice. Staghorn sumac, alternatively, will grow pretty much anywhere, usually in dry areas. And it grows in these tall, I don't know if they're technically trees, but it has kind of like a fuzzy covering on the bark, and it has these leaves. They kind of look like palm leaves, and they turn this brilliant shade of red in the fall, and they grow these, obviously like bigger ones of these that you can collect, and I like them. These are pretty easy. I know I don't have it up there, but you just pull it right off the stems. You can separate the stems later on. Sometimes you'll find a worm or two as you go through here. It's fine. But generally the staghorn sumac grows up high. And I like these, and they've been sitting on the counter for like a week or two, so they dried out a little bit, not quite as brightly colored. But I like them because they have something on them called tartic acid, which kind of reminds me of citric acid, so like lemon juice. So when you get fresh, like big fresh berries, it makes a really good sumac aid drink. It does act as a little bit of a diuretic, but super tasty. I like making it. I'll take these berries and I'll break some of them up, and I'll fill up like don't know, like 1/3 to 1/2 of a 2-quart jar. And I'll add in some ice and cold water. And then I'll just put it out in the sun, like as long as possible, even overnight. It makes this like very like deeply pigmented drink. And you don't really want to drink it straight because it can be pretty strong, but you can take that and add it to a pitcher with some water. That's good. And you can even add some more lemon juice to it to balance out that flavor. Boo boo, come here. Oh, there you go. She had some of the little berries stuck on her. But it's really tasty, and I also like using it as a marinade. So some people will take these berries and even grind them up to make a powder. So if you were to like order sumac online, you would get powdered sumac most likely. But I love them in marinades. It just adds some nice flavor to everything. So as you're taking this off and you get all the berries off, you end up with the stem. And you'll notice too that your hands will get some of the stuff on them, and if you lick it, it's gonna taste sour. And that's that tartaric acid, just sour like a lemon. But I'm a fan of sumac. I'm happy that something that grows here is actually one of the first forageable items that I learned how to safely and comfortably identify and use. Let me tell you, last year we had so much of this, made such a good brine to have some duck. Ooh, it was great. I really got to get through all these dried goods because they're just taking up space. It's that time of year where everything is either coming out of the garden because it's getting cold, or it's getting ready to harvest as it is. And we're busy. Our counters are full of food. Honestly, so full of food. I'd like to see if I could scoot back here now that she's done. Maybe you can see what I'm working on. Hi, Scout. What are you doing? Yeah, so we have behind me, I have some dried toothache plant that I'm gonna add to our jar. I have, what's that, dried catmint that we're gonna blend up and add to our little container that we give to the cats. I have some parsley drying back there that I'm just gonna put in a jar. And what else? Oh yeah, we got some rice and wheat that we're gonna stay there because we have some more coming in. But yeah, finally getting to put some stuff away, which was really nice, and take care of these sumac berries. I love this time of year, honestly. It's so hectic. Honestly, I feel like September is almost more hectic because it's still warm enough that everything is coming in, but you know, you have that threat of fall around the corner. But it's nice to have everything inside where you can look at it and really appreciate how much of a harvest you have. And I hope that, you know, whatever you're growing this year, you kind of get to enjoy this level of hectic food preservation that we're going through. Like, it's like, you don't like it, but you do. For me personally, like, I love growing things. I love starting them from seed. I love keeping the plant going, maybe pruning it to make it look nice, watering it, seeing it develop. And then when it comes to food preservation, I'm just like so not into it. At least, you know, traditionally. Used to be worried about like not using food fast enough before it went bad. But I've been really leaning into it this year. Like, we've been water bath canning. We got a pressure canner and we've been using that. I might make a video of that. I know people said that's something that they wanted to see some more of. So just kind of learning new techniques alongside, you know, getting that preservation done has been really fun for me. And at least. I'm actually pretty stoked there's like no worms in these sumac. Yeah, I just never really liked food preservation, but I enjoy it now. We get some like good organic food in the house. There's a whole table of tomatoes here, so we'll get some more canned goods. Fall is great. You know, anytime you get a time of transition like this, you know, you can feel it in your bones. And I've spent the last few years working in healthcare, and this past year, almost a year to the date, I actually left the field. And any healthcare worker can let you know, like full moons are going to be kind of interesting wherever you're working. Also seasonal changes. And I think it maybe your experiences in healthcare are really amplifying those, but you know, if you look for the signs in your own life, you'll notice that yes, season changes bring a time of transition that you can really, you know, feel to your core. And usually, you know, I'm not really looking forward to fall. I've been in New England my entire life, but still don't like winter. However, it feels different this year. It for sure feels different. It is such a luxury and a privilege that we get to go outside every day. Whenever we spend time out of town and we come back, really getting to appreciate how nice it smells outside with the combination of all the plants we're growing and the region that we live in. And fall's great. You know, usually it kind of marks the beginning of the end to all the things that are thriving throughout the year. But it doesn't feel like that this year. This year honestly feels like a transition into more abundance. And I think that's especially true when you think of food preservation. You know, and you're preserving food, you're not actively, you know, using it throughout the week. You might eat like a little bit here or there, but you're putting away bits and pieces of the summer that you get to re-experience again throughout, you know, the fall, winter, and spring when you bring it out. And you get to eat that, and you get to feed yourself and your family with, you know, very high quality, nutritious food. And I'm really looking forward to that. Outside of tomatoes, which obviously, you know, nothing beats a homegrown tomato, I'm really looking forward to bringing in the rest of our grains. We had a second flush of sorghum outside. We grew black Milo sorghum. And I was reading, did a lot of reading on sorghum before we even planted it. But I was reading that once you harvest your original crop of it, if you leave like a good amount of the plant there and you just leave it, see what happens, it should regrow, and it did. And the little grain clusters, I forget what it's called, there's a name for it, of the sorghum that came back are smaller than the first flush, but we're getting a second flush, and they're all look like they're ripening on time. And I'm still gonna figure out how to cook it properly. But you know, worst case, if I can't figure it out for us, that's free chicken food. And that's gonna be really nice to have on hand. It's also gonna be nice on hand to have on hand, excuse me, the rice that we grew. It's not a big harvest of rice, but you know, if we get like a cup or two of rice from the small area that we planted, I will be super hyped to try that out. And the wheat berries regrew triticale, which is like wheat, and it looks like wheat. I guess it's just like a different kind. That's what we could buy. Everything else was sold out when we were getting seeds. I'm really looking forward to, depending how much we get, either milling it and making a loaf of bread, just to see how it tastes, or leaving the berries whole, and then we can make like a multi-grain loaf of bread with flour from the store. Or a colleague of mine was telling me about this other place where I can buy whole wheat berries, so that would be pretty cool. And just mill it here. We have all the equipment for that because of brewing. So I'm really excited for the grains. In addition to the ones I just mentioned, we have all our corn coming in. I just saw this video this week of this guy who took glass gem corn, which is like a popcorn, or people consider it like an ornamental corn. Homie just like blended it up and made corn pancakes with it. And I didn't know that you could do that with popcorn. So we have this leftover popcorn from last year that really didn't do that good. I don't think I dried it properly, so it didn't like really pop, but it's stored well. And if I could just grind it up and turn that into some pancakes or use some cornbread, that'd be great. We also have some more Silver Queen outside, and yellow, what is it? Yellow something dent corn. I forget the exact type of corn it was. But we have a bunch of dent corn coming in. I know for sure I can, make some grits with that. Maybe some polenta. So I got this sumac all off of the stems. Looks great. I got it on my plate, so now this is gonna sit here and take like a month to dry. It takes a long time. Last year we had so much, I used all of our full pans for the oven, and we had it in our garage in the heat, and that still took like over 2 weeks to dry out enough for storage. Like they hold somehow so much moisture. And you can tell the difference between dried and fresh, because the dried loses that like bright red color and it dulls just a little bit. So I'm hoping the combination of harvesting this at the end of past the end of the season. So the best time in our area, we're in Western Massachusetts, to harvest this sumac is between like the end of July and like September, maybe mid-September. Usually like mid-August is a good time. And we got this like 2 weeks ago at the end of September. So they were drying out maybe a little bit on the trees, but now I have it. I can somehow fit it on here. Let's get this. We have dried toothache plant, which we are collecting. We're gonna make some throat lozenges with it. This goes by a couple names. Other than toothache plant, it also goes by like electric buzz button, or I forget what the Latin name for it is. But if I were to chew on one of these whole dried flower heads, it would feel like eating a Szechuan peppercorn. It has that same like numbing sensation, but also like creating like saliva. It's really weird. But I found that this is really good for tea, and this year I want to make some lozenges, just in case anybody gets sick. So I'm going to use this. We just planted some chamomile in our greenhouse, and those two would be really good together. They use some of our pine cone syrup to do that. So I'm going to wash my hands. I will be right back, and we're going to put some of this other stuff away. Let's see, so we have a container, here we go. Here's our container of toothache plant that we've collected so far. And we've gotten a lot, but when it dries down a lot. So we're just gonna add to this. We'll probably get one, maybe two more flushes of flowers. I honestly have not been giving them the care and attention that I did last year. We planted them in the mulch under our fruit trees. I just kind of let them do their thing, but yeah, it smells so good. This is gonna be really nice. When we make the lozenges, I was looking up some recipes, and we're gonna be making like a simple syrup with it, I guess. Steeping this in water and then using that water to make the lozenges. So that's awesome. Let's put this in the cabinet. What else do we have? We have our dried parsley. We have triple curled Italian parsley. We have our catmint. And the catmint is going to go into the blender. I think we have some thyme. Yep, this thyme needs a little bit more time, to dry, so we're gonna leave that. We also have some oregano from when we hung all of our herbs. And this is about dry as it is, so I think we're gonna put it away. We also collected a bunch of dill seeds, so I'll show you how we get that off of here. This is a pretty good haul. Now we have fennel seeds, which we picked green, but that's okay, they're gonna dry on here. So I'm gonna let these dry a little bit on here before we process them. All right, let's get some containers. All right, this is an advertisement for this company. This is just the creamer container that I saved, which still smells like vanilla, so we're not gonna use that. I'm gonna go get some Ziploc bags. I think that's gonna be better right now. Perfect. A Sharpie. Here. That's Cat. Come here, Scout. Come on. I know we're a homesteading channel. Don't come for me for using plastic bags. I would love to go get those silicone ones. I cannot afford them at the moment. We will get them someday. It's on the list. I do try to reuse these as much as possible. So let's put this parsley away. For me, I like to leave the parsley. We did chop it up before we dried it. But other than that, I'm not gonna grind this up. I'm gonna leave it as is, and then I'll crush it when I wanna use it. This is good. We had a good parsley year, really good herb year. Our kitchen is just full of stuff hanging right now. Even above me, I know you can't see that. We did post a video about it. I want to say it's in our vlog section on our channel if you want to see it. It's also on our Instagram. It's one of our most recent videos. Love fresh parsley. That stuff you buy at the store does not beat what you grow, I'll tell you. So other than, I know I was talking about some greens I was excited for and having some tomatoes. We are having a killer fall garden going right now, I'll tell you. So even after taking out, if you saw like our video this week, you know that we took out our pepper plants and we took out our tomato plants. Even after that, I gotta say, I'm pretty proud of myself. We planted, we got a lot of fall garden stuff going, And as we were taking stuff out, I was replanting root vegetables, like a lot of radishes, some carrots, a couple beets snuck in there, fall greens, and it's all coming in. So even with all the other stuff coming out, our garden still looks full. It's just the height of our summer vegetables taking that out. Now everything is low and growing either into our raised beds or at like a shorter height than you'd see with your summer vegetables. It looks so good. I was just looking at it in the rain today. I went to bring our chickens some snacks, and oh man, our broccoli is looking really healthy. Cauliflower is looking really healthy. It's starting to bulk up. Our kohlrabi is getting to the point it looks like they're gonna start bulbing, so that's good. We harvested this year. We have another video about it, but in like 90+ degree heat, just growing stuff in the shade on our porch, we had a huge kohlrabi harvest. Huge by our standards. You know, we've never really grown it before. I think we tried it last year and we got like one small one. Oh man, though, it came out so good. So I know this fall kohlrabi is gonna do even better. All the timing for the stuff we did, like, I'm very happy with it. We did last winter do some garden planting videos where I talked about how I figured out, you know, our orientation to put our raised beds as we built them, how I plan out the spring, summer, and fall garden, some stuff you could do for a winter garden. I don't think we'll do a winter garden this year outside, maybe again inside. But, you know, I think if I remember, one of my main points was that, you know, you can plan and plan and plan, and then once you get to the point of planting, your plans are going to change, like where you're going to put some stuff, whatever. One of my favorite quotes is, farming is a science, but gardening is an art. And let me tell you, that is absolutely true. So the fact that we were able to get our fall gardening started, knowing our weather patterns, just not even looking at our calendar, to like our first frost date, but just knowing our weather patterns, planning based on like previous year's gardens, trying and experimenting with new stuff and getting the fall garden to where it is right now has been a lot, and we're really happy with how things are coming out. And then I get to sit here on a rainy Wednesday evening packaging some fresh parsley. We grew this triple called Parsley last year. It was great. It outlasted literally everything in the garden. I loved it. So we have a bunch that's growing back right now. So we'll probably get, I'd say maybe like one full Ziploc bag's worth after we dry out stuff, but I'm just gonna let it go. So let's get this oregano put away. I decided not to hang the oregano. We ran out of hooks. I put up those hooks that like stick to your wall so you don't have to put a nail in. So I was like, whatever, I'll just strip the plant and dry it. I don't have a dehydrator. I'm literally using takeout container lids that we saved. This is how I dry most of our stuff, and yeah, I know that's not the newest technology that people may be into. I know freeze dryers are super popular this year. We just don't have the space for that, and I'm not wasting electricity on putting stuff to dehydrate in the oven like all day. I'm not doing that. If I can air dry it, I'm air drying it. And as far as capturing nutrients, people always wants to capture the optimal nutrients of everything you have. Guess what? If you grew this stuff and you got to the point that you're saving it in your house in some way or another, you're already doing great, trust me. because I air dried this instead of dehydrating it, I'm not like ruining everything. Okay, this is great. This is still gonna taste so much better than what we're gonna buy from the store if we were to buy it like a jar of dried parsley. It's gonna be better, it's gonna taste better, it's already gonna be more nutritious because there's less travel from, you know, from there to the house. Here I just walked like 30 feet to go get this stuff and brought it in. So if you're at home and you're doing this and you're like, oh man, like I don't have a dehydrator, I don't have a freeze dryer, I don't have a pressure canner. There's so many ways to preserve your harvest. Like if you're growing it, listen, if you're growing it and you actually have a harvest to worry about what to do it with, you're doing great. Trust me. We are all winging it. I've been gardening for over 10 years. And every year I still feel like I'm winging it. Even as I'm sitting here on YouTube showing you how to do this, still feel like I'm winging it. There's things I get more comfortable with every year, like these dill seeds. Harvesting that for the first time last year felt nerve-wracking. They're kind of cool though. So, smells so good. Look how easy this is. So you take the flower cluster. I don't know if you can see that. Just take it. It just comes right off. I personally love YouTube. I'm one of those people who's kind of like a consumer of the same content that I put out. So I'm always picking up tips from other people. One of these days I'm going to do a video on other content creators that you should check out. It's not, I don't know the first thing about doing collaborations. I guess that's something you could do. I'll just tell you. I'll just tell you who I watch. I also want to do a video talking about the seed companies that we order from. Is this the most practical, industrious use of my time? Probably not. You know, no free advertising, right? Whatever. I'll save that for my job. You know, no free work without money. Here I'm just hanging out. You know, I learned a lot of companies to purchase stuff from content creators. I remember being in college and I was part of this organic garden program, and I spent so much time going on the internet looking up where to get organic seeds and kind of like as quick as possible figuring out how to grow different stuff. And like they showed me how to grow some things. That's where I learned how to grow garlic and potatoes. It was very helpful. I grow those now using similar techniques. But you know, free knowledge is great. I'm not gonna gatekeep where I buy seeds because they're all public companies anyways. But you know, we just gotta share information with each other. And I'll tell you, I looked up videos on how to harvest dill. And then I'm just scrolling on Instagram one day. I just see this content creator just be like, hey, guess what? It's better to freeze fresh dill than to dry it. I tried that this year, it was great. It worked out so good. The dill seed, drying the dill seed's a little bit different. These ones we leave outside until the seeds mature, which they started these beautiful yellow flower clusters that are like wide. I guess it would look similar to the fennel clusters. But you'll know when the seeds are ready, like this stem turns brown, you can get it. There's just random tips you pick up when you're not even looking. I highly recommend, if you don't already do this, and if you're watching this, you probably do, but use your phone, use your computer, use your technology as a tool, always. Vote with your clicks. And by that, I mean, you know, you're gonna see more of what you interact with. That is just how these different like social media platforms are designed. So if you're clicking on a bunch of homesteading stuff or how-to videos or, I don't know, food preservation videos, you're gonna see more of that. And you're gonna see more of it when you're not even in that search bar looking for something specific. And that's how I find random information, such as saving fresh dill. I have a whole bag of dill in our freezer. It's great. But it's good to have these items on hand. It doesn't take that long to go through dill, honestly. Hi, Boo. What are you doing? I know you want the cat mint. Come here. You want the dill too? Hi. It's a good cat. By the way, it's totally normal during harvest season to just have your kitchen be a complete mess. My kitchen looks like a disaster. It's all food. There's literally food in every corner here. But it's nice to go through these dill seeds. I like dill seeds to put in bread, personally. I think it adds a nice flavor without being overwhelming. You can use it in cooking. It'll give you a stronger dill flavor than fresh dill at times. But you want to be selective where you use it. So like I might throw like a little bit of dill seed and some pickles, but I'm not going to replace fresh dill with dill seed in that process. But it is good if you want like a hint of dill flavor, if you're like cooking something for dinner. Dill seed's where it's at. It's really good, very fragrant. Hi. I put the catnip on the table and that's what she wants. Hey. Maybe some later. Yeah, harvest season's great though. If you have any tips for using green tomatoes, I would really love if someone would send them to me. You can contact us on our Facebook group. We have a Facebook page if you want to go follow it. We have the link on our channel. It's like a list of links there. We also have a discussion group, and I'd really love if people joined our discussion group. It's not quite as active right now, but I definitely like some more people in there, so it can be more active. You could also contact us on Instagram, where we are at the Galaxy Gardens. I post on there all the time. You can follow our stories. We have some good stuff. We're gonna be doing some different stuff this winter too with this channel. So all those updates will come. But more importantly, if you have any green tomato recipes, I don't want to do pickled green tomatoes. We did that one year. Don't like it. I want to make some salsa verde with ours. So if you have a good recipe for that, I will take it. Fried green tomatoes, I will take that recipe. If there's anything else you use them for, you like a green tomato relish maybe, or is there any like cooking stuff you use it for? Where that's like with stews, maybe curry. Let me know. I would really appreciate those recipes. And everything is open. There's no restrictions on contact as far as I'm aware. Even if you want to send us an email, we are on Gmail. It's galaxygardens2021@gmail.com. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up. And I see this cat sitting at the end of the table, staring through my soul right now. She wants that cat mint. So I'm gonna go ahead and blend it up, and I don't think there's anything else I gotta put away right now. I do wanna show you really quick before we go. We've been collecting our nasturtiums, our nasturtium flowers. I'd really love to make an infused vinegar with them. That would be like nice and spicy. Nasturtiums for us, we grew them the last couple of years. They usually stay pretty small all summer. And then the second it gets to fall, these plants just like blow up. They start putting out all these flowers. Even today I went out and I got a couple. And now that all the summer garden stuff is out, there's gonna be spreading. So I think over the next month we're gonna get a lot more flowers. But I've been collecting them as I go and adding them to this plate, and they smell really good. I don't know why, I feel like nasturtiums have like a really nice rose smell to them, and they're pretty. I don't remember which one specifically this is. I know we grew Alaskan Jewel. I think that's what it was called last year, but I think it was different colors than this. I think it was like a red, there was like a variegated one. It was pretty cool. Anyways, so we've been adding to our little tray here. Nice. Been adding to our tray here, so when we get enough, hopefully I can fill up half a jar and make some infused vinegar. We do have some salad Burnett vinegar infusing right now. I just used white distilled vinegar. I didn't use white wine vinegar, no other fancy vinegars. And I did that a few weeks ago with a different batch of salad Burnett. Oh my goodness, it's a nice full cucumber flavor. Came out really good. So we made a bigger batch this time. We're gonna use it for everything. I know you want the cat. All right, I'm gonna give this cat some catnip before she tears off my arm. If you're catching this, thanks for checking out this live. It was really cool that we can do a live on YouTube. We haven't done that yet. I like that we can do it sideways. On Instagram, it has like a more vertical orientation. So I think we're gonna do some more of these. We'll let you know. We're gonna be doing a lot of cooking stuff. I think that would be cool for a live. But we'll have a video for you here on YouTube next week. And if you want to catch any live updates, go head over to our Instagram. I hope you have a good time. Good luck with harvest season, food preservation, dry your stuff. Listen, make your life easy. Just put some stuff on leftover trays you have, let it dry. I promise you, it's gonna be fine. It's not ruining your crop, it's not ruining your harvest. It's gonna get the job done. And I know we're all really busy people, and maybe you're busy like me. Maybe it's gotta sit on your counter for like 2-3 weeks before you have time to process it. Great, it's extra dry, ready to go. I hope you have a good night. I'm gonna go hang out with my cat and make some dinner. I'll see ya. Bye.